Dear students, today we will discuss about coupling schemes. When we consider a number of electrons, the total angular momentum would depend upon the interactions or the coupling between orbital and spin angular momenta. In general, coupling schemes are of two types. One is LS coupling and second one is JJ coupling. First one is LS coupling, or it is also known as Russell-Sanders coupling. This type of coupling occurs most frequently and hence it is known as normal coupling. In this coupling, all the orbital angular momentum vectors L of the electrons combine to form a resultant vector capital L, and all the spin angular momentum vectors S likewise combine to form a resultant vector capital S. Now, the vectors L and S combine to form a vector J, which represents the total angular momentum of the atom. That means if we consider an atom which contains number of electrons, let small l1 be the orbital angular momentum of the first electron, L2 be the orbital angular momentum of the second electron, and L3 be the orbital angular momentum of the third electron, and so on. When these orbital angular momenta of electrons are combined, then it gives a resultant vector capital L. Similarly, when small s1 be the spin angular momentum of the first electron and small s2 be the spin angular momentum of the second electron, small s3 be the spin angular momentum of the third electron, and so on. When these spin angular momenta of electrons are combined to form a resultant vector capital S. When these resultant vectors L and S combine to form a resultant vector J, which is called total angular momentum of the atom. Okay, we know that every electron revolves around the nucleus and it spins also. So each electron possesses two angular momenta. One is orbital angular momentum and second one is spin angular momentum. Here L is always an integer 0, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. The value of S depends upon the number of electrons and the direction of the. In case of two electrons, if the spins are parallel, the value of S is 1, and when the spins are anti-parallel, the value of S is 0. We know that the magnitude of spin angular momentum of the electron is always half, depending upon their orientation. That is, if they are parallel, then the spin angular momentum is plus half. If they are anti-parallel, then the spin angular momentum will be minus half. So depending upon the direction, whether they are parallel or anti-parallel, the total value of S depends on number of electrons. In case of 3 electrons, S may be 3 by 2 or 1 by 2, depending on whether the spins are parallel or anti-parallel. Therefore, we can say that S is an integer for even number of electrons and half integer for odd number of electrons. See the diagram. If we consider two electron system, if two electrons are in the same direction, then the resultant spin will be S1 will be half, S2 will be half, both are in the same direction, then the resultant will be 1. If they are anti-parallel, then S1 will be half, S2 will be minus half, they cancel each other and the resultant will be 0. In this way, if we consider 3 electrons, if they are parallel, the resultant will be 3 by 2. If 2 are parallel and 1 is anti-parallel, the resultant will be 1 by 2 and vice versa. If we consider 4 electron system, if they are parallel or anti-parallel, the resultant will be 2. Okay, the magnitude will be 2. If 3 are in one direction and one is in another direction, that is 3 are parallel and one is anti-parallel, the resultant will be 1. If 2 are parallel and 2 are anti-parallel, they cancel each other and the resultant will be 0. Therefore, we can say that the total angular momentum of the atom J is an integer when S is an integer. This is for even electron system, and J is a half integer, that is 1 by 2, 3 by 2, 5 by 2, and so on, when S is a half integer, that is for odd electron system. J must always be positive and never be negative because it represents total angular momentum of the atom. And we can also say that J is always be positive because S is always positive. Okay, S is always positive. S is always positive means the magnitude will never be 0. Okay, now we will switch over to another topic, that is JJ coupling. Sometimes it is observed that the interaction between spin and orbital vectors in each electron is stronger than the interaction between either the spin vectors or the orbital vectors of different electrons. In such cases, JJ coupling is most suitable than LS coupling. In JJ coupling, each electron is considered separately and its total angular momentum J is obtained by the relation J is equal to L plus S. Then the total angular momentum J of the atom would be the vector sum of all the individual J vectors of the electrons. That means consider an electron. An electron possesses two types of angular momenta, as we said earlier, that is orbital angular momentum and spin angular momentum. So combine these two angular momenta for one electron. Therefore, results J. So J1 is the summation of orbital and spin angular momenta of the first electron. J2 is the orbital angular momentum and spin angular momentum of the second electron. That means the addition, the summation of these two angular momenta. J3 is the summation of orbital angular momentum and spin angular momentum of the third electron. So in this way, we combine the orbital and spin angular momenta of each electron, which results the total angular momentum of the electron, first electron, second electron, third electron, and so on. If we combine these individual total angular momentum of the electrons, it results a capital J. That is the total angular momentum of the atom. In most cases, LS coupling is effective than JJ coupling. Thank you.